And that'll be followed by Donald Couchman and Eric Schultz. I say welcome.
Hello, the name is Mark Sargent. That's now that's going to be a tough act to follow, but I'll do my best. Okay, I just wanted to draw, council members, thank you for listening. I want to draw the public's attention to what may be an extremely egregious example of malfeasance, and just to help illustrate the gravity of the situation, imagine if the federal government gave $19.5 billion to Hollywood. I think we'd all be pretty upset by this. Well, there is a growing body of evidence that the International Space Station is not in outer space, but it's being filmed in a desalinated pool down here on Earth, and it's being falsely misrepresented. And this started with this phenomenon known as bubbles in space. If you search for it, you'll see many of these so-called spacewalks, which have been falsely misrepresented as live, as has been exposed many times on Facebook when they do their live ISS feeds. Bubbles out in space. Well, there's not supposed to be water up there. And it is known that the astronauts do train in these big underwater tanks. And so this body of evidence, and it's not just bubbles in space, there are harnesses or green screens, evidence of flights that are actually on parabolic flights, not in space. And if this is true, it's a big deal, because that's a lot of money that could be used for our own infrastructure or schools, whatever. So I'm drawing the attention to it because I think it's something that deserves to be looked at. Because if it's true, these bubbles in space might represent the smoking gun in probably the biggest hoax since global warming.
Almost white with the light of the universe, with the uncountable number of stars, but it has a lot of variation to it. Even just with the naked eye.
I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar earlier what stars we could see. I don't remember seeing any.
The sky is almost white with the light of the universe, with the uncountable number of stars.
I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar earlier what stars we could see. I don't remember seeing any.
Uncountable number of stars.
I don't remember seeing any.
Water is also very dangerous on the space station because we have a lot of electricity, so we need to be very careful not to spill it. Very dangerous on the space station because we have a lot of electricity, so we water is also very dangerous on the space station because we have a lot of electricity, so we need to be very careful.
And so when you open up your hockey puck and turn it into a washcloth, it was compressed in a great big vise somewhere. Okay, so here's my washcloth, like a magic trick. And now I'm going to get this soaking wet, and then we're going to see what will happen when we wring it out. Merritt and Kendra suggested that I dip this in a bag, but bags don't hold water in space, so instead I filled a water bag. This has drinking water in it. And I'm going to squirt a bunch of water into this washcloth.
So water is also very dangerous on the space station because we have a lot of electricity, so we need to be very careful not to spill it. So water is also very dangerous on the space station because we have a lot of electricity, so we need to be very careful.
Okay, so here's a soaking wet washcloth. Get the microphone so you can hear me while I'm talking. And now let's start wringing it out. It's really wet.
So water is also very dangerous on the space station because we have a lot of electricity, so we need to be very careful not to spill it.
luz afuera, que no puedes ver nada en el cielo, excepto el satélite de Fox.
Some of NASA's latest space dreams came crashing down in central Australia today. A giant helium balloon packed with expensive scientific instruments lost its moorings in high wind.
Chorearon el teléfono en la NASA. ¿Dónde está la seguridad? Wow. La NASA. Sorry. Es una sitcom esto. Gonzalo Rodríguez. This telephone is not from NASA. Come on. Esto es un desastre.